Hey there, I'm Mr. Terry, a high school history teacher. Welcome back to another History Teacher Reacts video. All right, you all have been loving my commentary on Philomena Cunk videos, and I have had a blast working with them. So we're coming back with my third reaction video to clips of her best moments. Now, what I'm going to be doing is, of course, giving my honest reaction to these jokes, but I also want to talk about the history behind the topics that they're joking about. So hang out here with me. Let's have a lot of fun. Let's learn. Let's laugh. Okay, the collection of these clips will be able to be found down below, so make sure you're checking that out. And of course, make sure you're checking out the Philomena Cunk videos. You can find them all over the internet, Netflix, and stuff like that. All right, I'm excited to check out some new jokes that I haven't seen yet. Let's get started. All right, what's she gonna have for us this time?
Good afternoon. What are you? King Arthur came a lot.
What did she say? What are you? I love how she's done that a few times where she's like, who are you?
Good afternoon. What are you?
What
King
are
Arthur
you?
came a lot, didn't he?
Wait.
I think you mean that he's associated with the court of Camelot.
No, it definitely says King Arthur came a lot.
Camelot.
Camelot.
Yeah.
It seems like this.
No comment on that one. By the way, there's an interesting debate. We were talking on the Discord. People were asking me, do I think that King Arthur was a real person? And, you know, it's hard to say anything in those situations, but it got going a good like discussion though of like these mythical characters from history. Is there a chance that those people actually existed? Maybe not to the extreme that the stories about them, like for example, Greek gods or something like that. Like, could they have been famous people from, you know, pre-Greek history that as time went on, their legends grew and grew and grew till they reach, you know, like godlike status. Anyways, what do you think about that, by the way? Let me know down below.
Were considered shocking.
Hey,
Even
what?
Camelot.
Yeah.
It scenes like this were considered shocking even in Shakespeare's day, which is quite an achievement considering people used to shit out of their own windows back then. Incredibly,
Cleanliness
even
was
today
bad.
people actually got to see this sort of thing, despite it being completely fucking unwatchable.
Speak again! Don't run away!
It's my mate.
I don't know what that was in response to there, but one of my favorite ones that was similar to that, it was in one of the other videos that I've covered, where it was like, was it easier for kids to go to school before Shakespeare because they didn't have to read Shakespeare? That reminded me of that one.
Unwatchable.
My son! Speak again! Don't run away!
It's my mate Paul. He did this party trick that he always does with the red nose, and he put it sort of on his
Uh-oh.
intimate skin,
Uh-oh.
and it sort of tore it and he went septic. Actually, I think that might mean
Look
he
at him.
qualifies for some sort of charity money.
That is the first and most disgusting thing I've heard done with a red nose.
You said
Okay, I have a question to ask. In the couple clip videos I've seen, she keeps referring to this Paul person, and I don't know who it is, and maybe I need to watch more. But I want to let you guys help me out on this. Is it like a boyfriend or like an ex-boyfriend or a friend? Who is this Paul character that keeps having these crazy stories that she references?
Sound like an expert. What's your
All right, what?
Disgusting thing I've heard done with a red nose.
You sound like an expert. What's your background?
My background is in developing and evaluating vaccines, but I also work in the infectious diseases of children, so have learnt a bit about
The
viruses
nonchalant
that affect
eating a
children
sandwich
over
with an expert.
the last 25 years.
No, I meant what's your background? What is that? Your office or your living room?
do you
Not his background of his credentials, but what's in the background room. He did have like a cool map or something going on
What's your
back there.
background? What is that? Your office or your living room?
Oh,
do you just learn the famous bits like to be or not to be, or do you learn all the bits in between as well?
I have to learn all the bits in between.
Are you fucking joking?
No. It's,
a
I mean,
lot.
it's big, but it takes a bit of time.
Shut up. Have you thought about just selling celebrities, you know, for their organs? Because I'm sure someone would pay a fortune for, like, John Bishop's kidneys.
No, we haven't thought of that.
Or this decorative pervert.
people. Oh my god. Okay, I can't keep on this screen.
Before
Moving
Snapchat,
on.
hills were the most efficient way to distribute dick pics to a wide audience. How long?
Okay. All right, historical context. I don't know if I should go back to that image, but y'all saw it. You can rewind it, but oh man, I love though, like the whatever you call those glyphs, like they did those in like Peru. They have like the Nazca lines. They're actually all over the world that they believe, like, why would you make a lot of these like giant kind of formations that you really could only see from like the sky? And I heard people say, a lot of people say that possibly it's, so like gods can see it from down below.
Would you get off work if you got the Black Death?
In about 70% of cases, you'd be off work forever.
Oh, right. Result?
Because you'd be dead.
Oh. As this
Yeah, the Black Death had an incredible rate. Depending on which strain you got. For example, if you got the pneumonic version, which was when it really went fully airborne, it was pretty much 100% death. Awful.
actual footage shows the main ones were the across ones who ate grass, and the up and down ones who ate the across ones. Stone Age man used stones to make basic weapons and tools,
right?
like
Age.
these hand axes.
Yeah.
As well as
bones.
boring, these are also shit by today's standards. But back then they were cutting edge because they had a cutting edge.
I love how literal she is on some of this stuff. She does that. Yeah, I mean, for most of human history, the main physical technology in use was bones, stone, and wood. And with those three things, I mean, you could get a lot done. But yeah, it's kind of come a long way. But all right, what's blowing up here?
Big Bang created the universe
Big Bang.
in one mad explosion. It was probably deafening, although luckily ears didn't exist yet.
Yeah, it's
Just
true.
imagine something
technically,
like this orange.
Ears took many, billions of years to eventually evolve. If you start from the Big Bang.
And then imagine it's not that exist yet. Just imagine something like this orange.
Okay.
And then imagine it's not there.
Okay.
Then do that one by one with everything that exists until there's nothing at all. That's what Britain was like until the Big Bang.
Oh. I get it. I was really having a hard time imagining Britain before the Big Bang. Just imagine everything you see until there's nothing. I could not have put it better. I'm going to start using that in my lessons in class when I need the kids to understand how things were before they existed. Thank you, Philomena.
But this Iron Man didn't have superpowers like the Iron Man in films. He couldn't fly or tolerate Gwyneth Paltrow. So instead, he had to go to lengthy measures to defend himself. At this time, Pangaea was full of dinosaur. A race of Godzilla monsters so scary, normal human beings didn't dare exist until they'd all gone.
So it was actually a choice. I mean, we peeked in, we're like, okay, what's going on here? It's Pangaea, right? It's still the whatever Jurassic Age or something. Actually it'll be way before that. No, we're gonna slow down evolution a little bit. We're gonna wait a few 100 million years. Back in the water.
Before roads was invented, you had to travel around by standing at the edge of your village and seeing how far you could jump. As you can see.
Because for some reason you couldn't walk. Thanks, Romans, or something with that. Before you just had to be like, I can't get that far because I have to jump. That is a true part of history. I'm gonna have to rewrite my. I need to rewrite my early prehistory lessons.
Harold won when he triumphantly caught an arrow in his eye. Sadly, it wasn't enough,
Harold won.
and he died soon after.
Oh,
No one knows why.
couldn't have been the
Peasants
arrow.
lived in thatched wooden huts full of chicken shit. The water was filthy, so everyone drank beer, and the only thing to eat was bread. It was a particularly challenging.
Even that could be difficult, though. They're talking about the feudal era. By the way, that living in close proximity to animals is also why, for example, Europeans were immune to the diseases that they carried with them to the Americas. Because most of the great killers in the world with the disease, especially something like smallpox or measles, originally came into contact with humans through domesticated animals. And so if you have an ancestry of if you have an ancestry of people that were in close proximity to animals, you more likely have a better immune system to those diseases. So like, again, when Europeans came over to the Americas, that's why 90% nearly of all Native Americans succumbed to disease, because in the Americas, there were not very few domesticated animals, especially that lived in close proximity to humans. So
in time for the gluten intolerant. This tyrannical sawdust rex is the only real dinosaur left in the world, which is probably why it's so angry, spending literally every waking moment of its life roaring helplessly at passing tourists.
Feel bad for him.
Willis's execution kicked off a golden age of public entertainment.
Wait, who's?
Willis's execution kicked off a golden
okay,
age of public entertainment.
Who'd she say?
As well as watching people die painfully, popular pastimes included bear baiting, shin kicking and cockfighting, which isn't what it sounds like, even though I checked twice. My mate Paul told me this joke about this bloke in prison who wore a bib round his backside, and that story went places I wasn't prepared for. Like, not even funny, just disturbing. And when I looked up, Paul was crying.
Paul again? Who's Paul?
Why did Stone Age people...
Hey, somebody, again, I had this earlier, if you didn't hear that. Who is Paul that she keeps mentioning? Please put down below. I need to know who this guy is. But he sounds very interesting. I want to hang out with that guy.
Bury all their stuff underground. Were they worried someone...
Wait, who?
Why did Stone Age people bury all their stuff underground? Were they worried someone might steal it?
No, that's how we find it. It wasn't always underground. It was on the top. The reason we find it as archaeologists is that we go out and we dig it up.
Oh.
Didn't answer her question though. It's like a real thing. I mean, I get this question too of people when I have young students that ask about archaeology. Is like, why is everything just dug up? Right? I mean, you know what I mean? And essentially, what we're doing in archaeology, for the most part, when they're digging up like products like this, you're digging up their garbage. It's something that they left behind and intentionally did not preserve, generally speaking, unless you're talking about Pompeii or something. And of course, that can make, when you think about that, then all of a sudden it makes archaeology look a lot harder. You're literally looking through trash. It'd be like, and I give this analogy in my classes, it'd be like somebody, okay, whatever, 1,000 years from now, and the only thing that they have to learn about our era, let's say for some reason the internet shut down, it was destroyed, and all the records weren't there, and some reason libraries, like books, weren't found, right? And literally what all people had to go off of in 1,000 years was roaming through our garbage that we left. How clear of a picture could you have of our time based off of that? Kind of difficult.
Deep below Stratford and Avon, in a secret location on Henley Street, is a treasure trove of Shakespearean proportions.
I like how they do. She always trips. She trips a lot.
It's a bit wonky, isn't it? Like a...
We didn't make huge books like that.
They didn't have rulers, did they? The facts may be hazy, but we can probably guess that Shakespeare as a boy would have looked much like boys today, but bald.
Yep.
And with a ruff instead of an Angry Birds t-shirt.
Well, all right. I don't know if you know the name of this haircut. Shakespeare's the perfect one, because I mentioned this when I talk about him in my class. That hairstyle, you don't know what it should be called, it should be called a skullet. Bald, skull, mullet. Don't grow it, it looks ugly.
From one side spots Juliet from the other. It's love at first sight, but from a distance, just like on Tinder.
My mate Paul sent me this thing on YouTube.
That's great. Those masquerade parties are literally Tinder. It's like semi-real, right? All right, what's she saying?
Just like on Tinder.
My mate Paul sent me this thing on YouTube, which proves that spiders are actually alive. They just look as if they are, and no one knows what they're made of.
Yes, I mean, I think we do know a lot about spiders, and it's very clear that they are alive, that spiders are alive.
It seems a shame to introduce witches in it and then make all the murders normal with just knives and swords. Maybe if Shakespeare had thought a bit harder, he'd have put some magic murders in, like a big magic hand coming out of a toilet and pulling someone's arse inside out.
Okay. That would make Shakespeare a lot more interesting. Yeah. I won't restate what she just said, but I think we're all in agreement.
And by sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is
She
at.
pulls out something because she's bored.
It's the consummation devoutly to be wished, to die,
With our phone,
to sleep.
eat a banana.
to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub.
I've never had to stand for a whole Shakespeare. I don't think I could do it. I'd be livid if I didn't have a chair.
I think the audiences quite enjoy it. I mean, particularly now.
I don't think they do enjoy standing, do they?
They
She rags
actually
on
enjoy
Shakespeare so
the
much.
experience of standing.
Who's told you that?
Hates him.
What's that thing on the wall? It looks like a big stain. It looks like damp.
It's actually a map of Nepal.
But that's a story.
Wait, so the poster, right? Hold on.
What's that thing on the wall? It looks like
the poster. It looks like a What is that? Is it like a timeline?
a big stain. It looks like damp.
It's actually a map
Yeah,
of
teddy bear.
Nepal.
But that's a story that'll have to wait for now. Join me next time when I go back in time again. Not in an exciting way like in a film. I'm probably just looking at some old pots or something.
She's so honest. She's so honest. All right, final thoughts. Getting closer. All right, I hope you had as much fun as I did with the jokes and stuff like that. And hopefully you appreciated the history content that I was able to add to that as well. So again, man, I love her style. I if you hadn't caught the first videos, I love that style. It's exactly what I thought. I didn't know this existed, this type of thing, but I always thought this type of character that she's playing would be really, really funny. And I'm glad somebody with a lot of talent, like I learned since the last video, her name's Diane Morgan, how a brilliant actress like that could pull it off. So it was great there. Anyways, hopefully you liked it. Again, if you like this, give me a thumbs up on it, and that will let me know that I should cover more, because it looks like there's plenty of other content. It's been a lot of fun just to laugh, and then of course share my historical thoughts with you, and hopefully you appreciate that. All right, again, the collection video is down below if you want to check that out again. And with that, we'll see you next time. Bye.